This is my third conference in the Emirates on the blockchain this year. Definitely, probably the one with the largest audience, and I would say this is a clear indication that blockchain is a key topic across government and the private sector. In the UAE, and I would say more broadly across the region, including Saudi Arabia. I'm a partner at PwC, Middle East, here in Dubai, where I lead the digital and technology consulting practice. Today, I'm here with Ajit, my colleague from the Blockchain Competence Center in London. And the idea is to talk about blockchain in financial services. Today, during the morning, we've seen a lot of sessions around, what is happening in the government sector in the UAE. Today, basically, we want to give a more global perspective from an NFS point of view of what is happening, with our largest clients in the US, in Europe, and in Asia. So, the blockchain somehow was born with Bitcoin and the financial services. And the financial services nowadays are undergoing a massive transformations for many reasons. There are really multiple forces that are concurring, to really transform and disrupt the banking, the capital markets, and the insurance sectors. From one side, there are emerging technologies like cloud, mobility, analytics that really allow to bring innovative solutions in production in a very short time frame and with really marginal costs. From the other side, we see regulators that, financial services is definitely an highly regulated business, and regulators in Europe, US, Asia are really opening up to, let's say, new players. We see the PSD2 directive, to open up the payment business in Europe. We see that the lending sector in the US is somehow, let's say, open to, let's say, new fintech like, Lending Club, the peer-to-peer lending. And we see also that technologies, players like, the Amazon, the Google, the Apple are entering in a financial service place. They're basically disrupting and attacking some of the key components of the banking value chain, the insurance value chain. So there are multiple, let's say, components. The financial service is under attack, and what really see, and this perception from our fintech service this year is growing. So we see that more than 80% of the financial services incumbent at the moment perceive that they are, under attack. They perceive their business is at risk. They are really losing revenues. And now they are trying to fight back. Now, so we see that somehow they're trying to embrace the kind of fintech aptitude and mindset to transform their business and operating model. And we see that more than 80% of the financial services incumbent are planning to increase their digital spending. BNP Paribas basically has launched the digital transformation program. They plan to invest more than 3 billion euro in the next 3 years on digital technologies. JP Morgan, basically they will invest $2.5 billion in the next 2 years in new technologies. $500 million in cybersecurity. UniCredit, one of the largest German and Italian banks, is investing in the next 2 years $1.5 billion in digital. So there is a clear sign that banks are reacting, are fighting back, and are trying to somehow come up with solutions to tackle and to respond to these attacks from the fintech ecosystem. In terms of new technologies, what we see is that, of course, blockchain is in the top 10 list. We expect, of course, that analytics and mobile investment and artificial intelligence will definitely be the primary areas of investment for banks. Of course, customer experience is definitely a key focus area. Blockchain is more on the operation side, on back office, on the payments area, but definitely the blockchain is moving out of the lab. So far we have seen a lot of proof of concepts. We've seen pilots. But if you look at the results of our survey, we expect that by 2018, 55% of the financial services incumbents, mainly banks, will launch applications in production, not proof of concepts, in productions with the blockchain. And by 2020, 77% of the largest banks globally will have a system in production based on the blockchain. The use cases are definitely multiple. They range from payment, of course, this is the sweet spot of the blockchain, but fund transfer, post-trade processing, and also insurance are definitely some relevant use cases that we start seeing somehow prototyped, piloted, and somehow brought also to production. In terms of the investment, we are tracking at PwC. We have a fintech radar, and we will discuss a little bit about this later. We're tracking all the blockchain innovation, the level of investment, and we see definitely growing attention across, of course, incumbents, across VC funds for this technology. The number of deals is growing massively. I mean, we are tracking of course, mainly VC deals, not the investments from the largest banks. So this is a partial view, but definitely we are reaching, and we expect to top the $1 billion investment from VC funds in the blockchain. But the issue is really understand, and this is what our clients somehow trying to investigate, how to navigate and how to orientate in this multitude of startups, technology, platform solutions. So the key point for the large financial institutions, including the ones in the EU, and also Naimish from the Emirates MBD was mentioned, is really to understand what are the right protocols to tackle, what are the right solutions, the right applications. So this is really key. So navigate across the mare magnum of blockchain technologies, blockchain startups, blockchain protocols. Should you build a solution on top of a basic infrastructure protocol like Ethereum or Hyperledger? Should you reuse an application built by a startup and assemble a solution, leveraging the support of a fintech ecosystem? Or, these are really the key questions that have to be somehow answered, and this is really crucial to define a blockchain strategy within a financial services institution. What we are seeing, let's say, of course, is that basically every large bank nowadays is launching internal pilots, ranging from Goldman Sachs, Barclays with trade finance, UBS, Deutsche Bank, BNI Mellon. But definitely every large European, US, or Asian bank has a blockchain team. They have prototyped some use cases, mainly around payments, some around trade finance, some other around post-trade products. So what we are seeing is that a clear move towards standard, let's say, solutions. The banks are joining consortia. There are somehow specialized per sector. We see B3I is one of the largest insurance blockchain consortia. Digital Asset Holdings is mainly specialized around post-trade finance. R3 is mainly focused around, let's say, the world banking sector. So definitely there's a broad spectrum of consortia with a significant level of specialization. We see this trend towards standardizing and collaboration. And definitely this is really key. The collaboration across the industry will drive adoptions. And then we will see now with Ajit what our clients are doing, real case studies, real projects that we are delivering.
Thank you, Max. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm a co-founder and a co-leader of our blockchain practice in London. And in the last 2 years, we have had the pleasure of watching this technology evolve from a technology for experiments into a technology for serious business problem solving. And I think some of the challenges around the technology are that, first of all, this isn't really about one technology. So when you talk about relational databases, you're talking about a pretty standard way of doing things, whether it's MySQL or Oracle, you know what to do, right? With blockchain, I think that term is a little bit misleading, because if you look at some of the new platforms that are coming in, like R3 Corda, they don't even use a blockchain, right? So we're talking about, so the term I prefer much more is decentralized ledgers, right? And when we talk about decentralized ledgers, this is a key concept, that you're essentially using a technology that's built for networks, right? So unlike in the past, where you designed your business as a single monolithic entity, or you said, oh, my government is one department. I think someone mentioned silos today. So you have a department, you have another department, you have multiple departments. Similarly, you have islands of value. Now, blockchain is a technology, or decentralized ledgers are a technology that connect these islands of value and allow you to deliver value to the end consumer that you couldn't have done before. To some extent, this is similar to how telecom networks work, right? So when you're thinking decentralized ledgers or blockchain, think networks. Now, you can configure your own blockchain using various elements. And if you look at the startups we have worked with in the last 2 years, there are lots of different elements of this technology that you need to configure. But you have to start with a business problem. You have to decide who is going to be in your network, what value do they bring, how do you connect these islands of value to deliver new value to the end customer. So how do I go forward? Sorry, I'm a bit difficult with hardware. How do I move this forward? Sorry. Right. So, I mean, right. Now, to be very honest, there is a lot of hype about blockchain. Thank you. Right? Because, and part of the reason there is hype is because people, I think, get too involved or too close to the details of the technology and forget the big picture of why they are building DLT. So when we go into the use cases, they typically fall into a few categories. I mean, you're trying to reduce cost and complexity. You're trying to reduce errors. You're trying to, Richard Brown of R3 said this really well, right? Which is, you see what I see, and I know that you see what I see. That's what blockchain gives you, essentially, which is, you can trust the data that you share with people that you don't necessarily trust, right? So you and I, let's say we have never known each other. We are different businesses. We have no incentives to trust each other. We want to share data, and we want to be able to share that, trust that shared data without having to trust each other. And that's, now the applications of this simple idea are absolutely amazing. Now, this is my sales slide. Please forgive me. But we have done a lot of projects in the last 2 years that we've been around, right, around the world. We've done work with a custodian in the US. We've done work with a bank in Japan. We did help set up the Bank of England, the central bank's blockchain lab. We are assisting one big bank with a trade finance consortium in Europe. We just demoed our insurance prototypes, proofs of concepts to the London Markets Group. We are building an audit node on a blockchain. So we are also digitizing our own services using this technology, because we realize that fundamentally this technology will reduce the cost of audit over a period of time, because you have verified data, so you don't need a lot of people to verify invoices, receipts, and payables. So the implications are tremendous, right? But in order for us to be able to digitize some of those services, the networks have to exist today. Now, we do a lot of work with, we are seen as the grown-up guys, and we do a lot of work with regulators around the world in advising them. We help our clients select which startups they want to work with, where the technology is headed, where the investments are going. A large part of what we do is help our clients not go with the wrong use cases, right? Because you could waste a lot of money and time doing on the wrong use cases, on the wrong applications that don't fit with your strategy. So you might deliver value to the consumer, but is that delivering value to your business? Is that delivering value to the government department that you're working with? Then this is a platform. For the first time, we built a platform that integrates services that people need, that clients need to deliver digital assets. So we are talking to a bank that's working with us now to essentially digitize commercial real estate. That's a highly liquid asset because real estate in one part of Australia is not, you can't sell it to a different person in London easily. So having a digital asset, a token that represents that asset, allows you to, but on top of that, you need a lot of services. You need reporting, you need optics, you need monitoring, you need regulatory comfort. So we are packaging all of those services, our traditional services, using technology so that our clients can build a platform very, very quickly without having to do all the work themselves, right? And by the way, we are auditors, right? So we do a lot of audit work. So we do cybersecurity work for Swift. We've done audits for some of the most critical market infrastructure player providers in the world. And so if you're deploying new technology, it involves many risks from an IT resilience perspective, from a cybersecurity perspective, from a regulatory audit perspective, from financial reporting perspective. So we are, as I said, leveraging this technology to digitize our own services, but also making sure that the path to production for our clients is safe and secure. And we fundamentally believe in the potential of network businesses. When we are backing blockchain technology, we are not saying that we are backing the blockchain underlying Bitcoin. What we are really saying is that network businesses that connect islands of value will essentially deliver so much more value to customers or to the average consumer and the citizen than businesses can do on their own. And that's the fundamental promise of distributed ledgers. Thank you very much.